need somebody to step up in that midweek role with Yeager moving now on to Sunday. So let's see what Ryan can do as he faces this George Mason offense. Toby Huber will stand in first, the second baseman. Ryan sets and fires down low, and we are underway at 4:02 p.m. It's a beautiful day here in College Park, 61 degrees.
Yeah, it certainly is. Nice weather for baseball, and not the best way to start right there for Ryan with ball one, but he won't be too nervous about it. One thing worth noting about him as a pitcher is he does have good strikeout stuff. He was top 10 in single-season strikeout list at Merrimack. He had 70 strikeouts last year.
He missed his freshman season with an injury, so this is, I guess, year 3 for him in college, but his second season actually throwing, and the count goes 2-0. Down low again, now 3-0 here to Huber.
Yeah, this is not an ideal start here. Ryan certainly needs to be careful because this is a George Mason team who can really hit. And he's not going to have an easy time for himself if he starts falling behind early in counts.
He finds the zone there for the first time today.
So now here comes the big moment of truth. What's he going to do to see if he can get it up to full count or potentially induce contact, which could lead to an out?
3-1 from Ryan is hit hard on the ground. That gets past Gibbs and into left field. It's a leadoff single for Huber. So that will bring up James Quinn Irons. Runner in scoring position for him. He will take strike one.
Yeah, and that's a good start there for Ryan. And Quinn Irons is extremely dangerous. We talked about him pregame. This is exactly who George Mason wants up in this situation.
This is the guy we highlighted coming into this game. A check on first is almost in time. And Eddie Hacopian, who's back to first base today, more on that later. He wants a review, and let's see if the umpires are going to take one. Ryan looks over at first again. Now he fires home, and it's taken inside. It's 1-2.
Yeah, this is not going to be an easy at bat, and you kind of know that with a hitter of Quinn Irons' quality.
He has been excellent so far this season. Runner's going to go, and Quinn Irons rips it into right. And the Patriots are going to take the lead on an RBI single from James Quinn Irons. His hot bat stays that way, and it's a good start here for the visitors.
It sure is, and that's just really unfortunate there for Ryan because he was doing a good job, but Quinn Irons just timely hitting. This Mason team looks really, really timely with all their hitting. I mean, we watch right there, perfectly through the hole, literally right in front of the runner. And we just see Mason takes the lead. They've been base running well. They've been getting the hits they need. And Ryan's already going to get a mound visit here.
Showing bunt here is Jake Butler. Butler pulls away. He is just an exceptional player, Dash. 326 is his average this year. And he has just been smoking opposing pitching for 35 RBI. And he's got a runner just 90 feet away right now. He takes upstairs, and now it's 2-0.
Yeah, it's interesting to see him showing bunt here. I mean, this is your cleanup guy. Nobody out. Guys at the corners. I would let him swing away here. Be aggressive.
This is a kid that has always delivered with runners on. When he was in high school, he hit a walk-off grand slam with his team down 3. Takes here for a strike. The throw down is in time, but a run is going to score. That sets up base running there for Hall. Aggressive base running for George Mason has given them a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, they will take that run. I don't know that that was the best attempted steal. It looked like he never really turned on the gas, and Calarco able to throw him out. But at the end of the day, George Mason will take the extra run.
First out of this game for Maryland. Butler is going to take upstairs.
In a weird sort of way, this might almost be a little bit beneficial for Ryan to just get rid of that run with the out like that. Now he's got empty bases, can just lock in on the hitter, You do get the feeling that maybe the pressure is telling for this Maryland defense.
This ball is ripped foul in the left.
Some athlete Scooter could have taken a beating there. It looks like it didn't, thankfully. It's worth noting that that's going to be another pickoff.
Another close one there from Ryan.
It's worth noting that so far Ryan has not gotten a single batter out himself. Only out off caught stealing.
So Butler on first. Another check, and this time Ryan gets his man. There's 2 away here, and now nobody on as Jake Butler is picked off.
Feels like Mason's approaching the line between genius and arrogance here. Couple guys throwing out the base paths. I think their aggressive base running has been really smart, but playing with fire a little bit.
It's outside there on Raymond. His first collegiate season has gone very well. 22 hits. He's also walked 15 times. Here's the 1-1 home. That's just upstairs. So 2 outs on the base paths for Maryland here. George Mason has been very aggressive in that department, and that's given them 2 runs, but again, also cost them 2 outs. As that misses outside, it's 3-1.
Yeah, I think at this point you have to admit, if you're George Mason, you might actually be a little bit disappointed if you get this inning with just the 2 runs and those 2 guys caught in the base paths, because to have it happen once and lead to a run is acceptable, but to have it happen twice is a bit of a bummer, because so far you're facing a pitcher who's not been able to get you out easily.
That ball is ripped in the air to left field, and that is going to get over the head of Orr. Raymond is going to stop at first base. It's a 2-out single for the freshman.
It's one of the longer singles you'll see.
328 feet off the bat. Exit velo at 103. He crushed that baseball into left center. And it looks like Maryland is going to make a change here early. Or played that well on the wall. Got it in a hurry, and that made Raymond stay at first. And Braden Ryan's day is done. Coachy, the sophomore, he spent time at Wake Forest last season, pitched in 11 games. As you can see, the defense now behind Koshi. First pitch from Koshi is going to scrape the bottom of the zone, and it's 0-1 here to Lucas Alberti.
Yeah, he's just got to get out of the inning here quickly. I think if you're Maryland, honestly, you would take being down 2-0 at the end of this, because so far they've really struggled with this George Mason offense.
Koshi fires home. He'll miss it outside. Again, the base running for George Mason, it's given them 2 runs. It's cost them 2 outs. And now there's Raymond at first. You can see him on your screen. Comes inside there on Alberti. And it's 2-1.
Yeah, but just to see if Mason tries to ease up a little bit with the aggressive base running with the new pitcher. And so far, still taking some decent leads.
This is the 8th appearance this year for Koshi. This is down low there. And I think you're right, Dash. I think Maryland wanted at least an inning from Ryan. He could not provide it. And now in this bullpen game, it's pitcher number 2 here in the bottom of the first. And number 2 fires home. It's off the end of the bat. This could be real trouble for Maryland. It falls in the triangle. And it's going to be runners on the corners yet again for George Mason.
It feels like maybe Maryland wasn't quite as sharp as they wanted to be there on that play. See right here.
Yeah, just 68 miles an hour off the bat, Dash. He didn't really get a great piece of it, but felt perfectly in between those 3 Terps.
Yeah, I wonder if somebody needed to call that sooner, because it just looked like all 3 of them weren't quite sure who was going to go for it. If somebody had gone all out, that might have been catchable.
Owen Klein, the shortstop, stands in next.
This is the classic Mason position, I guess. First and third. Runners to the corners.
Finds the bottom of the zone there at 88 from Koshi. Now Koshi has some traffic here. He's trying to limit the damage to 2 runs here for George Mason. Help his offense have an easier time to get back into it. A 1 pitch is going to miss down low. All 6 men that have stepped up to the plate for George Mason have reached so far. 5 of them with singles. Jake Butler walked. Off the end of the bat again, this time foul, and now Maryland is a strike away from stranding 2.
Yeah, this is big right here. Koshi just needs to get the Terps out of this inning, as we've talked about.
Big pitch here for Andrew Koshi and Maryland. Have to try to minimize here in the first. Almost gets away from Calarco. A nice catch by him. Keeps it 2-0.
Yeah, good work there by Calarco. He's had a solid inning. Throwing out a guy. Saved a wild pitch there.
Koshi refocuses. He will fire home. It's down low again, and the count is full.
Koshi just also seems like he's maybe got a little bit of a case of the nerves here. Feels like both these Maryland pitchers have been pitching on eggshells.
Owen Klein at the plate. 2 on, 2 outs. Here's the full count pitch from Koshi. It's crushed into right center, and that falls in. Another run is going to score. Sent home is Alberti. There will be no throw, and it's 4-0 George Mason on a 2-run, 2-out double by Owen Klein.
Yeah, that is some more really good timely hitting here by George Mason. This Mason offense has been really impressive in this first inning. And we see it right here. This is definitely one of their best hits so far of the inning. Actually didn't look quite as good in the replay as contact, but then you see it there for that angle. Yeah, that's a good one.
The pitch was middle. It left the bat at 104, and it goes 283 feet off the shortstop Klein's bat. Now it's Nick Berens at the dish. He takes high.
And credit to this Mason team. That was Koshi's first run he'd allowed. That was credited to him in 7 1/3 innings pitched. Worth of appearances. So hadn't given up a run since he'd faced Wake Forest on March 1st.
Runner is still on second, too. Base hit could maybe make it 5. That's now 6 hits here in the first inning for the Patriots.
Yeah, 6 hits, and the only outs have come off of base running errors. Pretty incredible.
Balls are just falling in the outfield right now for the visitors. That will miss inside, and now it's 2-1 from Koshi to Berens. Sam Lavin is up next. He would be the 9th hitter here in the first. Koshi fires home the 2-1, a big hack there by Berens.
Task is still the same. Koshi just needs to get out of this inning. Got to keep it at 4. You can't let there be a 5th run here. You can, but it's obviously very, very not ideal.
4-0 goal is already tall order to climb out of. Ball will be ripped foul. Well, here's Maryland again with an opportunity to get out of it with 2 strikes. Crowd starting to clap their hands, hoping their guys can finally stop the damage. Koshi fires home, it's outside, and this count is full.
And credit to Mason, they're making Koshi work. Already getting his pitch count up.
Koshi turns, looks at second, fires home again, and it's popped high in the air and out of play.
Wow, this is a really good at bat here.
This is Berens' first at bat of the season.
Quite a way to start.
Off the end of the bat and foul again.
Yeah, we're talking here about pitch count, all these things. Koshi already, he was at 11 pitches entering this at bat. Now he's gotten himself all the way up to 18.
Off the end of the bat, hit to third. Hacopian fires in time, and that will finally bring the first inning to an end.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Quinn Irons in the air, left field. This ball is way gone. Off the varsity team house, it's 6-0 George Mason.
Quinn Irons got some metal on that. Absolute blast.
His 7th of the season. 108 off the bat, 384 feet. And it's 6-0 to the visitors.
George Mason is now hitting .800 with 2 outs.
No doubt about that one.
Yeah, that was off the bat. You knew it was trouble.
Now Butler is going to try to bunt. And the job for Maryland just got that much harder. A full count pitch is a ball, and then that sets the table for Quinn Irons, and he takes full advantage.
That's just brutal for Koshi because he was so close to getting out of this inning, and he started so well. But that's the thing with Mason.
He now has 39 RBI this year. I guess that's what you get when you bat third in one of the best offenses in the country.
Yeah.
And you've got the excellent Jake Butler right behind you. Another former Cal Ripken League guy. He was good on the Giants 2 years ago when he was an incoming freshman.
There really just is no respite for pitchers here when they're facing this George Mason team.
One, two, Butler pops it up and over our heads.
And this is the thing, other than that one at bat, Koshi has pitched very well in this inning, but you give up the home run, and in a game like this, it's those fine margins. You can't afford to have a bad at bat against this George Mason team because they will make you pay.
Two home. Butler checks his swing, and the count is full.
Yeah, and it might even be harsh to call it a bad at bat. He had him in a position where you could have. He was close to getting out of the inning. It's just really rough because you give up that one swing, and suddenly the game looks a lot harder. And it's unfortunate for Maryland, but right now, this is a Mason team who is taking their chances.
Full count. That's low and away, and it's the second full count walk of this inning for Andrew Koshi.
Yeah, that's just brutal here for Maryland. And
so how about this? Swope from the dugout is arguing that that's ball 3. I could hear him from here. He said that's ball 3, that there's trouble with the scoreboard out in left center. And, you know, it's something I guess that you take for granted. Oh my goodness, they will say that's ball 3. It's been changed. Sometimes, Dash, we all forget how to count to 4. And that has happened there.
What's 2 plus 2?
That would be 4. You know, when you put it like that, it sounds so easy, but
wow.
I remember watching a YouTube video, and it was a guy who just compiled, you know, how often in the MLB is there 3-pitch walk, and it happens more than you'd think. Butler fouls it off of his arm there, and this at-bat somehow is going to continue. You have to give credit to Butler, too. He almost got away with it.
Yeah, I mean, you have to give credit to Swope as well because, I mean, man, that's
Yeah, you definitely have to give credit to Swope there for being on top of it. Full count, and it's ripped at Gibbs. Gibbs fires to first in time. Another nice play by the shortstop, but James Quinn Irons adds 2 more with a moonshot to deep left field.
Yeah, and Quinn Irons, we talked about how dangerous he is. He showed you exactly how dangerous he is right there. Mason rolling.
What a swing by Quinn Irons. It's all Mason here early. They lead it 6-0 over the Terrapins.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Take outside.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about Gibbs being good in limited time. He has a .400 on-base percentage so far this season.
And he's got 2 in scoring position here with nobody out. Gibbs takes outside.
Yeah, Drum's really up against it right now. This Maryland offense is starting to get to him a bit, and you see it gives his stats right there.
Looking to add to that RBI total. Hits it well down the line, but it's hooking foul.
Yeah, that landed on the walkway. A student just looked. Where'd that come from? Thankfully, nobody was injured. That's what we want. No injuries.
Count goes to 2-1 to Colin Gibbs. Pitch home from Drum that finds the inside piece. The one, I guess, problem that Colin Gibbs has run into is strikeouts. He's struck out 11 times in 25 at-bats. That's an excellent take by him, just high.
Yeah, that was right on the border with the strike zone.
What a spot here for the freshman. 2-on with nobody out. The full count pitch coming from Drum. And Gibbs is going to put it on the ground to second. That's enough to score Maryland's second run. It's an RBI ground out for Colin Gibbs, and it moves Elijah Lambros over to third. The freshman did his job there, Dash.
He really did. And right now for Maryland, suddenly the mood music's changing. This is the team now where they're in a position where still just 1 out, runner on third, top of your order coming up. They'll feel like they can get another run or 2 here. And if you get it down to 3-run game, college baseball, that is absolutely ball game. Pro baseball, that's game on.
Martin takes high, and again, Gibbs really did his job there, Dash, because not only does he bring the run home, but he also moves Lambros to third, and now a ball to the outfield cuts this lead in half. It would be 6-3. Martin takes just high there, and now it's 2-0.
Yeah, certainly productive at bat there for Gibbs. And now for Martin, he's up in the count too. And it's interesting, nobody's warming in the bullpen that we can see for George Mason.
It's going to find the bottom of the zone there to Martin. 2-1.
Yeah, interesting to see what the plan is here with Drum. Hasn't had a crazy pitch count, but is.
Martin in the air, left center, that falls in, and he's thinking too. Scoring is Lambros. It's an RBI double for Martin, and just like that, it's 6-3.
Game on. Slow and steady. Hasn't won the race just yet, but it has made it a race again.
First baseman, Eddie Hacopian.
Terps are right back in it. How about their offense's response here in the bottom of the second, Dash?
Yeah, good contact there by Martin. Goes opposite field.
And the slide in, the celebration. Let's see if Eddie Hacopian can get going here.
This would be a good time for him to bust his slump.
He wears 3 for a reason. He deserved it. And when it was announced, I think everybody within the Maryland baseball program agreed with the choice. As he shows bunt here, and it's a very good one. Butler charges, there will be no play. Maybe that's how he can get going.
That's exactly why for Eddie Hacopian. So much tough luck. Legs out a bunt. It was a really good bunt, too. That's going to fire you up.
Yeah, that's not on Butler at third dash. That's just a perfect bunt. Let's take another look. Look, that's just leadership right there. You know, you're trying your best to swing your way out of the slump, but maybe you could just find a way to get on to help your team. That's enough. And now Chris Hacopian, his brother, can tie it with one swing. A check to first as Eddie Hacopian is back. And if Chris doesn't, you've got Alex Kolarko up next.
Yeah, you still got just one out in this inning, so there's a lot of potential here.
It's been a very good inning for Maryland, and boy, have they needed it after that no-doubt homer in the top half of this inning by Quinn Irons.
It's worth noting there is some activity now in the bullpen.
Pitch home to Drum, just outside. He's going back to that off-speed pitch. That's the one that Hollis Porter took over 450 to right.
Yeah, tricky situation here for him.
Finds the bottom of the zone there. He goes back to speed, comes in at 89. You've got to be very careful here to Chris Hacopian if you're Drum.
Sure do. He's a tying run at the plate right now.
1-1. Hacopian thought about it. He wisely lays off, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, just got to keep putting the pressure on Drum if you're Hacopian.
Again, just a ball to the outfield. That would work here. That would make it 6-4. Another check on first, but I think if you're Maryland, Dash, when you think about who's coming up next, with Kolarko and Orr and then Porter, you really want to try to get back into the game right now because this George Mason offense, they're not going to slow down. 2-1. It's right down the middle. It's a nice pitch, though, by Drum. He really caught Hacopian off guard. I think that Hacopian was waiting for an off-speed pitch, but heat instead.
Yeah, and Drum's had some really solid work today. Maryland has just caught up to him this inning, but that was a good pitch there.
2-2. Drops a little bit too much, and the count is full.
This is a huge pitch here now. If Drum can get this out, that's absolutely massive. But if Hacopian gets on base, the rally isn't just on and going. It suddenly becomes a critical threat here for George Mason.
Chris Hacopian at the plate, 2 on. Full count from Drum, and Hacopian pops it up near side. Is it going to drift out of play? It does. We're going to try it again at 3-2. What a ball game we've had here early, Dash. It's just the second inning, but there's 9 runs on the board.
Yeah, 3 field goals. We'll see who gets to a touchdown first. Yeah, I have a feeling this one might be kind of high scoring, and it's lived up to that.
Evan Johnson, Maryland's biggest fan, getting him fired up. Full count pitch home, and Hacopian hits it high in the air to right field. Lavin is under it. It's plenty deep. Coming home is Martin, and it's 6-4. 2 very productive outs here for Maryland in the second. Plates 2 more runs, and it's a 2-run game.
Absolutely. The launch angle and the velocity just weren't quite right on that one, but it does the trick. Maryland now down by just 2, and man, credit to this Terps offense. They were in a tough spot. Their team needed them, and they're responding superbly.
Now you've got a guy, Kolarko, stepping in that could tie the game with 1 swing. But Chris Hacopian, he did the important work, as did Collie Gibbs, to bring those runs home. Kolarko takes, that's strike 1. Midweek baseball, I mean, you know it's going to be a shootout. So far, it certainly has been. Oh, 1 home from Drum. Kolarko drops to a knee as he swings and fouls it back.
Yeah, he was really going after that one.
And the inning really started with a bang with Porter's homer.
Sure did. I mean, that homer is one of the most titanic homers you'll ever see.
That was crushed. No other way to put it. Upstairs there on Calarco at 88 miles an hour as he kind of flinches there for a second. Now he's going to step back in. Calarco power from both sides as he stands in the lefty box now. 1-2, another big hack fouled back into the netting.
Good job by Calarco just staying alive here. He's just got to put the pressure on Drum. Right now it feels like Drum kind of has him a little bit off balance. But if he hangs around and at bat, he'll start to shift that pressure back on to the freshman.
2 outs, 2 strikes. Calarco, another foul ball.
Yeah, good work. He didn't get great contact on it, but did what he needed to.
He's staying alive. Five Maryland hits in this inning. They've gotten themselves back into this game. 1-2 is just outside.
Yeah, that's one where it helps to have the umpire's angle, because from up here it looks pretty good, but you see on the StatCast, you see that was not in the zone.
Two to Calarco, called strike 3, and Drum strands 1, but not before Maryland strikes for 4 runs here in the bottom of the second, and all of a sudden we've got a game again.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
The replay.
Hill with a huge hack, a swing and miss there on the first pitch he sees. Now it's 0-1.
And now Maryland's rolling again, though. 2 guys on, nobody out. This is exactly what you want if you're the Terps.
So a runner on first, a runner on second, with Hill at the dish, and Hill sends one high in the air to right, but not deep enough. Catch is going to be made by Lavin, and the runner Orr will tag up to third.
Yeah, that just had the wrong trajectory.
Center fielder, Elijah.
You know what, that one might be a matter of it was just thrown too slow. It was out of the hand at 69, and it's really, really hard to hit a pitch that slow out. You've really got to get a hold of it. Just 96 off the bat, though, of Hill. Just was not enough.
It's another productive out, though. Maryland now with runners in the corners.
Lambros is going to show bunt. He pops the bunt up, and it falls foul. So it's Lambros, then Gibbs, and then the lineup flips over to Martin.
The bottom of the order has been pretty effective today for Maryland. Lambros was good last time up. Had that double.
Looking to add to that RBI total here. Shows bunt again, and he gets the bunt down. The flip home is too high, and Orr scores. Elijah Lambros does his job, and it's 6-5.
Man, that was tricky there. It was so close. The play looked makeable, but it's really tough when you're in the moment having to run on that, and really with full knowledge the runner's bearing down. That play is going to be trickier than it looks. Although I do think that George Mason felt they could have had that. Just wonder if Meeks maybe rushed himself a little bit.
Here's another look at it. Yep, just too high there on the flip. And now it's Colin Gibbs' turn. He shows bunt, pushes it foul.
He also had a productive out last time. And Maryland really in business here. I mean, still just 1 out. Guys on first and second. After Gibbs is top of the order. The iron is hot. It's time to strike.
Terps have scored the last 5 runs after falling behind 6-0 in the second inning. Hollis Porter there at second. Elijah Lambros is at first, and it's the freshman Colin Gibbs at the plate. Gibbs is going to swing away here after the bunt, and he rips it foul.
Yeah, he got contact on that. Just pulled it too tight.
They're going to score that Lambros play, by the way, as an RBI single.
Lambert's now at the multi-hit day.
Gibbs takes low, and it's 1-2.
It's interesting to note, not been the easiest start here for Meeks. Nobody up in the bullpen. Of course, second out here would do wonders.
Meeks fires home way too high there to Gibbs.
Yeah.
2-2 count to the freshman shortstop. Local kid out of St. John's, and he rips it right to first. It's caught. The step on the bag, a double play turned by Owen Hall.
Man, that's unfortunate for Maryland. That was hit so hard. Lambert's just too far off the bag.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Their new positions up the middle.
Yeah, we've certainly seen some really nice defensive work today.
Klein takes, that's a strike, and it's 1-1. Yeah, the infield defense for Maryland has been very good, but it's nothing they could really do. About 10 hits on the board and not even 5 innings for George Mason.
Yeah, it's remarkable stuff.
This is a really, really, really good offense, and I know we've been saying that all game long, but they're top 5 in the country for a reason.
Yeah, we see Owen Klein, one of those dangerous guys. Credit to Milberg, though. He's done a great job against this George Mason team, and he has a chance now to get out of this inning.
Instead, it's driven back up the middle by Klein. Raymond is going to be sent home, and he will score. And for Owen Klein, it's a 3 RBI day, and it's 7-5 to the Patriots.
The announcer's curse strikes again, and yet again, Mason doing damage with 2 outs. Each of their last 3 runs have come with 2 outs on the board, and in a situation where it looked like Maryland was about to get out of the inning, this Mason team, you cannot count them out at any point from doing damage. And unfortunate for Milberg, because he's had a really good outing.
Actually, Dash, each of their last 5 runs, if you go back to Klein's 2-run double in the first inning, have come with 2 outs.
Yeah.
So Klein has now done it twice.
It's like if you spotted them 2 outs, they wouldn't even be bothered.
Yeah, if they started every inning with 2 outs, you know, it'd still be 5-5 right now. That's, I think, a testament to this great offense for George Mason, Dash.
Yeah.
They just never give up.
We've talked about it ad nauseum. They are truly one of the best in the country. Just so good.
Barron's at the dish. He takes down low. For Milberg, it was 2 scoreless innings. And then finally here with 2 outs in the 5th, it's Klein who beats him up the middle. It's revenge for Klein, who was punched out by Milberg back in the 3rd. Runner goes, throw down by Calarco is dropped by Martin, and it may have been in time.
Yeah, that looked really good. It looked like Calarco was about to potentially throw another runner, but didn't work out that time.
Let's take another look. It was a little bit offline. I think Martin was just so worried about having that foot set, that back foot set, so he could keep his balance while being slid into. Runner's going to go again, and it's fouled by the Maryland dugout, and that's a waste of a great, great jump from Klein.
Yeah, this is now a huge situation here, too, because it feels like Mason's starting to pick up momentum again on offense. Maryland cannot have that happen. Milberg's pitched so well, he needs to not give up a second run in this inning, but that's easier said than done.
Barron's the catcher at the plate. It's Klein standing at second. And it's Milberg on the mound. He fires home, and it's just outside.
Yeah, not the easiest situation now for Milberg.
2-2 count for the Maryland lefty. He's just trying to limit the damage here in the 5th. Barron's looking for his first hit of the day. Off the end of the bat to Martin, and Martin will make the play.
1 run, 2
But
hits,
George Mason
no
adds
errors,
another one,
1 man.
thanks to the bat of Owen Klein, his 3rd run driven in today. Terps offense gonna try to respond when we come back in the bottom of the 5th. They really like him. 14 games already. So that's going to miss down low. 14 games when they've only played 24 is pretty crazy. He's pitched in over half of their games.
Yeah, he's certainly a stalwart for them in that bullpen.
He has only pitched 8 2/3 innings, though. So when he comes in, he doesn't stay for long. It's 2-0 to Gibbs. Make it 3-0 now to the freshman. How big would this be if Gibbs can find a way aboard here to lead off this 8th inning?
Oh, it'd be massive, and what a statement to his coach.
He does just that. A big-time walk for Colin Gibbs. And that is just what the doctor ordered here, Dash. There's a man on, nobody out, and it's the top of the order now for Maryland.
It's a golden opportunity. You were saying it before. This is a massive chance for Maryland. They cannot look this gift horse in the face.
It's Braden Martin. First pitch to him finds the zone at 77, and Martin, on the season, he reaches base 47% of his plate appearances. It's pretty impressive.
Sure is.
Can he find a way aboard here, though?
That's all he needs to do. Just keep this inning moving.
Keep that line moving. Eddie Hacopian, Chris Hacopian, Calarco due up. This feels like it's the chance for Maryland. 1-1 home. Martin off the end of the bat and foul, and he's going to have to protect.
Didn't miss the light by all that much.
Sean O'Keefe on the mound. Braden Martin at the plate, and Colin Gibbs on first with nobody out. Check on first, and Gibbs is back safe. He has been picked off once this year. That would be a disaster for Maryland if it happens again.
It sure would.
You wonder if O'Keefe was just brought in to face these lefties.
It's so inconceivable. There are other guys warming up.
That's upstairs. This might be an inning by committee for George Mason.
Be pretty frustrating for the Patriots. They have to go to somebody else so fast, though, with nobody out.
Martin in the left, it falls in. And it gets away from the left fielder, Alberti. Gibbs is going to be sent home. It gets all the way to the wall, and Martin is in the third. It's a 1-run game.
Wow. So many moments of this game have been moments that have gone against Maryland, and this time the Terps get a stroke of luck.
It just went under the glove of Lucas Alberti.
First baseman, Eddie.
Let's take another look.
Hacopian.
It was a great piece of hitting by Martin. And as soon as he saw it get by, he turned on the Jets.
Yeah, just unfortunate there for Alberti. He'll want that play back. That's so unfortunate for him.
Eddie Hacopian at the dish. Looks like there's going to be a meeting here for Barons. It was going to be a hit no matter what, but then the fielding error allows the run to score. New pitcher in, it's Britt Yount, as he will face the two Hacopian brothers, the two righties.
Not a fun assignment.
Can the captain find a way here to tie this game for Maryland?
Seems like he's had maybe a breakout night. A couple of hits. We see Yount's stats right here, 5.91 ERA over 10 2/3 innings. He's going to need to have a couple of massive at-bats here from his perspective.
That's low and away.
Yeah, just needs to bring his A game here, facing some really dangerous hitters. He's guaranteed to have to face Hacopian, and Calarco if he lasts 3 batters.
Hacopian drives it into right, and that's going to tie the game. From 6-0 down, the Terps have come all the way back. And it's the captain, Eddie Hacopian, who delivers here in the 8th.
What a moment for
Third
Hacopian.
baseman,
We've talked
Chris
about his slump,
Hacopian.
and right there you see it. It's a bit of timely hitting. This is what slump-busting performances are made of, and what a moment for Hacopian right there to bring his team all the way back. And guess what? Maryland now has all the momentum. The Terps are in the driver's seat because it's a tie game, but they're pretty darn close. They're in the passenger seat, and they're climbing over the median.
Chris Hacopian at the dish, a big hack there. Again, this game was 6-0 in the 2nd inning. If you're just joining us, slowly but surely the Terps have found their way. Checkoed first, Hacopian is safe.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
A base hit would be enough to give Maryland the lead.
It's interesting. On March 30th of 2022, Yount took the loss against Maryland. He gave up an earned run, pitched 3 innings. George Mason lost 3-1.
He's trying to avoid taking the loss here today. Hacopian with a huge swing and miss.
Big
and
pitch.
the count is full.
Big pitch by Yount right there.
The pitch is inside. And why is Eddie Hacopian headed to 3rd?
I think he thought it was wild, but nope, just a hit by pitch.
Yeah, they're going to say it hit Chris Hacopian.
Sure did.
Catcher, Alex Calarco.
Maryland won't complain about that. Here's another look. Yeah, got him just in the back.
Well, for George Mason, they're out of the fireplace and into the fire, and they're trying to avoid getting a 3rd-degree burn.
Alex Calarco at the plate. 2-on, nobody out. And Calarco drives it into right. Eddie Hacopian sent around. Chris Hacopian sent around. It's 10-8 Maryland. Alex Calarco delivers again.
What a moment for Alex Calarco. He's had a couple big opportunities before, just hasn't had his big moment today. That was his big moment. Clutch hitting to the max. You see it right there. Goes to the wall, scores 2 guys. Calarco's on 2nd. There are still no outs in this inning. Calarco's in scoring position. And for the Terps, the comeback is complete. And now it's about seeing, can you stretch this lead? What a bit of hitting for Alex Calarco.
And now Jacob Orr is going to show bunt. He pulls it away. It gets away from the catcher, Barons. The throwdown not in time.
Wow.
And now if you're Jacob Orr, no need to bunt. Your job has been done for you.
And for George Mason, this is just brutal. It feels like a case of anything that can go wrong will go wrong in this inning. So unfortunate. They've played so well today.
And now Orr off the end of the bat, and that will fall in. Calarco is going to score. Orr is headed for 2nd. He's safe. 11-8 Maryland. Their 5th run here in the 8th.
Designated hitter,
Wow.
Water.
It's a bloop double for Orr. And for Maryland, just everything is suddenly going their way.
How about the base running by Orr to take off for second?
Yeah, that's gutsy, and it worked out for him. Still nobody out in this inning, by the way.
And George Mason is going to make another pitching change. What an 8th inning it's been for Maryland. They have not led until this inning, and now they lead by 3. Unbelievable. Porter at the plate, 1-0 to him. New pitcher in, it's Cole Egan. And Porter takes low.
Egan's got an interesting stat profile, 3.27 ERA, but a 4.91 RA9 and a 1.64 whip. So it hasn't all been smooth sailing for him.
Oh, it comes inside and almost hits Porter. That's going to allow Jacob Orr to get to third.
This George Mason pitching staff just seems to be a bit shaken right now. Nobody looks confident, and who can blame them? I mean, this has been a remarkable turn of fortunes here.
Now any ball to the outfield would push the Maryland lead to 4. Hollis Porter off the end of the bat. That will fall foul. What a game this has been. 19 runs, 26 hits for these two teams combined.
Yeah, momentum has shifted multiple times throughout, and right now it is firmly with the Terps. It's also worth noting that if Maryland were to score here, they would still only have 1 out in the inning if Porter had to sacrifice himself to get the run across.
And I think at this point, every run matters to a point where you would take a sacrifice fly. That would be a fair trade-off. Porter fouls it back into the net.
Absolutely, you would.
Just 2 homers, by the way, have given us those 19 runs, and those 2 homers only account for 3 runs so far. And that one's off the wall. Hollis Porter in the second. He almost had another homer, but he'll settle for an RBI double to make it 12-8.
It's the new Terps way. Everybody hits a double, everybody scores somebody. Porter's had a good day.
I think he thought he got it. 109 off the bat, 356 feet, and he missed it by maybe 2 or 3. If that just had a little bit more lift, it would have gotten there.
If he faced a faster pitch, he might have gotten it out of there. It was just 80 miles per hour coming into him.
So now it's Aiden Hill. Oh, look out, it's too high again, and now Hollis Porter takes third. And things are just going from bad to worse right now for George Mason.
Crazy though they seem, Aiden Hill kind of began this tsunami of Maryland offense in the last inning. Or at least he played a key role in really sparking it to life.
Aiden Hill takes, it's 2-0.
And so Egan's already in trouble as well.
And now Aiden Hill pops it up right side. That will leave the ballpark. And you're right, Aiden Hill kind of sparked this Maryland offense, even though it was last inning. It was a huge 2-out RBI double.
Yeah, it sure was. At that point, it felt like Maryland's offense maybe run out of steam for the day. But as it turned out, they really had a full other wave coming.
Hill checks his swing. He did go.
Yeah, this is a huge at-bat.
Hill checks his swing again. This time he did not go. And now the count is full.
You can conceivably imagine a 4-run comeback. You can imagine a 5-run comeback, but it does feel a lot less likely. And for George Mason, they just have to get that first out. I mean, really, right now for George Mason, it's just got to be about taking this one at-bat at a time, just getting those outs.
Aiden Hill in the air, right field. That should be plenty deep enough. Hollis Porter is sent home, and he will score Maryland's 7th run of this inning.
Incredible.
Center fielder, Elisha Lambros.
Oh, how the tables have turned. Maryland entered this inning down 2. They now lead by 5. The bats have woken up just in time. Now Lambros is going to bunt. Charging is the pitcher, Egan, and he throws it away. And now Lambros is off for second base. Now he's headed for third. The throw across the diamond's not in time. That's great base running by Lambros. And the inning, this horrible inning, continues for George Mason.
This is incredible.
Shortstop,
I thought Lambros might be about to be thrown out at third, but he hustled and he got there.
How about Lambros just really turning on the Jets there? Now it's Colin Gibbs who will bat for the 2nd time here in the 8th. He led off this inning with a walk. Since then, it's been a parade of Maryland hits behind him.
There's somehow still just one out.
And now Gibbs hits this hard in the air and foul. And that one out, by the way, was a sacrifice fly.
Incredible. I mean, Maryland is hitting like George Mason in the first inning minus the base running errors.
6 hits for Maryland here in this inning. As Gibbs checks his swing.
Critical out number 2 right there for Egan. He really needed that, and his team really needed that from him. Big pitch by him, and credit to him for hanging in this tough situation.
So that will bring up Martin. Oh, and it comes inside and hits Braden Martin there.
That looked painful. Caught him straight on the back. And man, we were talking at the start of this thing about how it's going to be 9-1-2, and now we're seeing 9-1-2 come around for the 2nd time.
Hacopian.
Yep, now it's Eddie Hacopian, and don't think for a second this game is over though, Dash, because remember, you've got a top 5 offense in that other dugout. They scored 6 runs in the first 2 innings. They're going to need to find a way to plate 5 at least. The top of the 9th, Eddie Hacopian, who gave Maryland that big hit early in this inning. He tied the game. Now he's trying to build on to this lead.
Yeah, how the tenor of things has changed since then. It's really remarkable.
Hacopian takes, that's a strike. Hacopian checked his swing. So 1-2 with 2 outs. With Eddie Hacopian at the plate.
Yeah, this is critical that Egan gets this third out quickly.
Misses outside.
You do not want to give Maryland a chance to bring up Chris Hacopian, and you don't want to give Maryland a chance to bring up Marco, and you don't want to give Maryland a chance to bring up Hollis Porter again. I mean, the quicker this out comes, the better.
2-2. And Eddie Hacopian in the left center. He's got his 2nd RBI of this inning as he drives in Lambros, and now the throw gets away, and Martin will score as well.
Wow. Oh, I just feel for George Mason. What a day for Eddie Hacopian, though. He's busted his slump in royal fashion. This has been incredible. But, man, for Mason, it's just like everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong. I don't think George Mason will have an inning this snake bitten again, for several years. This has just been remarkable.
That's just unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh, that throw is just brutal for George Mason. I think 98 times out of 100 they execute that just fine. 99 times out of 100. And it's just today they're using up all their bad luck. That's the good news for them.
Now that's upstairs to Chris Hacopian.
Good news is there's no way they have this much bad luck again for a while.
Lead is now 7. Maryland scored 9 runs in this inning.
You know what's crazy? It's not the question that Maryland could mercy rule in this inning.
I think that would at least go to a conversation. I think that's only for conference games.
Yeah, but if they got up to 10, would they have that conversation? It's been a long game. They've taxed George Mason's bullpen.
Well, George Mason has to get home tonight.
Yeah.
So I guess that would be the only reason why. It's just with this offense, you know, you never know. They scored 23 runs
This is true.
an inning this year. It's upstairs and Chris Hacopian walks.
If there's a team you would counsel not to give up right now because they actually might have a chance, it would be George Mason.
So another pitching change. I believe this is the 4th of this inning. This is unbelievable. Maryland has plated 9 runs here in the bottom of the 8th. Another change is coming, and we will step away. Actually, we will stick with you for a second here as the new pitcher is going to come in, Michael Billow. And now Alex Calarco, who gave Maryland the lead, feels like hours ago now. With that huge 2-run double, will stand in with 2 more on. Michael Billow on the mound.
This is George Mason debut.
Calarco takes a strike. Well, when it was 13-8, you know, there was an opportunity, I guess, for George Mason, but now it's going to take an unbelievable effort in the top half of the 9th for the Patriots to find their way back. Calarco takes high, especially because Quinn Irons, I guess he would have to bat anyway.
Yeah.
He would be due up 9th.
Well, we've seen their lineup is good top to bottom. The issue is just you have to have so many things go right to score 7 runs in an inning. I mean, Maryland's had a bit of a miraculous inning here.
Calarco is down on strikes, but Maryland plates 9 runs. 15-8 as we head to the top of the 9th. Can George Mason find a miracle and come back and tie this game? Find out here on Big Ten Plus.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
It's just outside from McManus, and it's 2-2.
For McManus, you just got to finish this early. Don't give him oxygen.
What a big win this would be for Maryland. It's outside. Again, this was a 6-0 lead for George Mason back in the 2nd inning. George Mason was in front all the way until the 8th, but Maryland scored 9 runs. Jake Butler checks his swing. He did not go, and it's a leadoff walk for George Mason.
Well, that's what George Mason needs. Just need to go one batter at a time.
Designated hitter, Andrew Raymond.
So McManus, like I said, he's worn a lot of hats this season. Dash.
Sure has. And you can see his stats right here. 12 innings pitched. Certainly, he's got talent. Stats may not be what he wanted, but this is a guy who has the capability to shut down this game.
Raymond will take inside. It's 1-0 to him.
Raymond's also a Maryland native from Middletown. His hobbies include fishing.
Raymond off the end of the bat. Charging it is Martin. There's one away.
Big out there. You just got to get that first out quickly. Make sure there's no risk of a blow up here.
Left fielder Lucas Alberti.
So that will move Butler over to second base, but we're not going to see a base runner that truly matters for some time here for George Mason. I think if you're Maryland right now, you just got to focus on getting the out stash.
Yeah, for sure. Don't spend too much time worrying about the runner. Don't let that get into your head. Obviously, you don't want to just let him have a free steal, but you have one job right now. Let's finish the game.
So now it's Alberti, and remember, his error kind of set the tone for that inning when he let the ball go under his glove.
Yeah, that was certainly a heartbreaker, and one that a player of his quality he will want back, but maybe he's got redemption now.
They need to get the bats going now. Got 2 outs to score 7 runs. Oh, 2 pitch. Alberti stays alive with the foul ball that goes right over our heads.
And for him now, it's just got to be taking it one pitch at a time. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't put too much pressure on. Just got to make McManus work. As much pressure as you may feel like you're under, you have to make him feel like he's under pressure.
Alberti, a bouncer. Gibbs is going to charge it. He fires across the diamond. That's a heck of a play by Colin Gibbs, the freshman who's been great at shortstop all night long. And Maryland is an out away.
Yeah, we've talked about his defense extensively, and that was really impressive.
This game had its first pitch come at 4:02. It's 7:36 now. What a wild 3-hour and 34-minute ride it's been.
Yeah, absolutely.
Owen Klein is George Mason's last hope. He takes outside. Can Klein at least get one across? Off the end of the bat, Gibbs charges again, fires to first, and what a win it is for Maryland. They were down by 6, and they win it by 7.